I just want to start out saying how proud I am of our guys for an unbelievable bounce back game after a really difficult night in Minneapolis, where we could not have played worse in the second half. Give Minnesota credit for the pressure that they turned up on us, but I thought we learned a lot from that game, and our guys were locked in the film session that next morning and went out and had 2 really good, hard physical days of practice preparing for a very tough Michigan State team. I thought the second half, we got out, we talked about the starts, obviously. That had been an issue for our team. And to come out, I think, and get off to an 11-2 start in the second half and take a lead and keep it. Went back, I think, got a little lead on us there late. But, for the most part, we kept it for the entire 20 minutes. We made really smart decisions, unlike the other night. And, again, that's something that I give our guys a lot of credit for, is learning from the mistakes that we made in Minnesota. We had 12 turnovers in the second half. Tonight we had 2. And when you get the ball to the elbow, we worked a lot with that, getting movement, getting it to the elbow, cutting, and trying to use pressure against the defense. And I thought our guys did a masterful job of getting the ball to Rink and continuing with that and doing the things that made us successful. When I look at that box score, obviously Juwan and Rink with the nights they had, but you could argue anybody that stepped on the floor tonight was a player of the game. Eli and Matar go out and give us huge minutes, especially with Josiah out of the lineup today with his ankle. So, just start to finish, I was really pleased how the guys went out there and played a complete 40-minute game. We've really talked a lot about that, and it couldn't have happened at a better time.
Obviously, his first start of the season. What was different about him starting the game as opposed to coming off the bench? Do you think that maybe is something you'll go to more going forward, regardless of what happens?
Yeah, we'll see. We got a week to make that decision right now, but I just Jawan's energy out of the gate was great. It just exactly what he does when he comes off the bench. It doesn't change the person or the player that Jawan is. He's going to go out there and compete every time he's on the floor. Made some huge blocks for us late in the game. Shot looked phenomenal tonight. He had great balance, great lift in knocking down shots when he was open. Made a really nice play to Rink there after the timeout play, and just really made winning plays all night long. Rink was an absolute monster on the glass, and he got it handed to us the other night. Minnesota was much more physical than us, and again, that was a huge emphasis going into this one. Getting back in transition, we gave him too many in the first half. Did a much better job in the second, but transition and rebounding were the 2 keys, and for the most part of that, we did a solid job.
Fred, your team shot 50% from the field. Michigan State hadn't allowed anybody to shoot 50% this year. Does that go back to what you said about decision making, or what else is it?
Yeah, and we executed. We talked about playing with pace, but playing with smart pace. And if we didn't have anything, I thought we did a really nice job of getting into a set, and I thought we executed very well. Especially the second half, I think we were 65%, and that is not easy to do against a Tom Izzo team. And we just kept going back to what was working. And that's, again, the thing. I can't call a timeout every possession. These guys have to go out there and execute. And when we didn't have anything, we didn't press, we didn't force. We got the ball where we needed to get it. And, again, you look at Rink with 6 assists. It showed a little bit of what Derek did for us last year. And, I think, again, the guys cut and, withstood runs. I thought they kept their poise and composure. One thing I was really pleased with their team is how well they were communicating in huddles and talking to each other and taking constructive criticism and then going out and executing. That makes our job as coaches a lot easier when those guys are over there talking about things that need to figure out on the floor. And I thought our huddles were the best that they've been all year tonight.
Last week about wanting to see more toughness. Just what kind of improvement did you see in that aspect tonight?
Yeah, it was huge for us to come out. I know what I had a kid that played for Coach Izzo for 4 years. I know what their practices were like the last couple of days. I know they got after it and they were hitting each other, and I knew they were going to come out and play well tonight, and they did. They hit shots tonight, and that team's going to be there at the end. It was picked second for a reason in our league, and their record is not indicative of who that team is. They played as tough a schedule as anybody in the country. They had Arizona down 3 with under 3 to go. So this team is going to be there right at the end. So for us to come out and get this one after the disappointment of the other night, we put a lot of emphasis on this game. And, again, I give our guys a lot of credit for going out and executing and doing everything we needed to do.
What What about the Tyson Walker? He came in averaging 20. He had 2 in the first half, but then 17 in the second. But what was the
well, we held him way below his average, so I was really happy with that. What do you have, 19, you said?
2 in
17.
the first
okay.
half.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's a hell of a player, and we knew they were going to go to him. We knew they were going to he was going to come out and be aggressive in that second half. I thought we made a couple really nice defensive plays at the end of the game. Sam had a great contest on him to force a miss, and for us to be able to extend it, I believe that's when we put it to a 3-possession game. But, yeah, I mean, he's one of the best players not only in our league but in the country. So, for us to come out and do a solid job on him, was a big key for tonight.
You were 8 of 8, I think, at the line in the last 2 minutes. Just can you kind of speak on those last 2 minutes? Bryce hits the 3, and then you guys are clutch at the line.
Yeah, Bryce hit the huge 3, and then it was good to see those guys step up and knock down the free throws. We need to continue to make our free ones, and especially in crunch time when you get under 2 minutes, those 1-and-1s especially, if you can knock those down and keep it 2 or 3 possessions, obviously that's very important.
You guys put a lot of emphasis on this game. I mean, it's only December 10th, still early in the season, a lot of the season left. Why was this game so important for you guys in the context of the whole season?
Yeah, I mean, listen, these 2 Big Ten games are very important, and for us to come out of this 1-1, obviously we wish we could have got the one in Minnesota and gotten off to a 2-0 start. It didn't happen, and Minnesota, listen, they're a good team, they're a physical team, and I think they're going to do a lot of good things in the league this year. And then you get beat by Creighton, who's one of the best teams in the country. I think they're going to be right there at the end, especially the way that they're shooting the ball right now. So we had a tough 2-game stretch, but we lost to 2 pretty damn good teams. So, for us to come into this game, our crowd was awesome. We appreciate them coming back after 2 tough ones and giving us a big lift. But, this was a huge game for us, and now we got an important week. We didn't handle our last off week well. Guys have finals. I remember that feeling of that. It's always a little bit tough, and then you exhale when you get that last one done on Friday. We can't afford that. We need to have a great week of practice. We're going to take tomorrow off, have 2 hard days of skill work, get some conditioning, and start with the Kansas State prep on Thursday. Get 3 days heading into that one and going down to, good old Big 8 battle down in Manhattan. But, it's going to be a really hostile environment. We've now experienced that in Minnesota, and we'll hopefully handle it better than we did a couple nights ago.
You mentioned getting the freshmen on the floor a little bit. How big a deal is it to start to work them in, and what have you seen out of them to gain that trust to put them in that
They're
spot?
growing, they're developing, they're getting better. Eli hits the big 3. That's not easy to do when you haven't played really a lot of meaningful minutes to go out there and make that type of impact in a game that was of the importance that today was. So, for Eli to do what he did, and then Matar, to spell Rink, give him 5 or 6 minutes, that's invaluable. So, I was just so proud of those guys for going out there in as big a game as we've had and will have all year to go out and have the impact that they did.
Anything significant? Like,
he got out and shot a little bit before the shoot-around. He said, listen, if I can go out and give a guys a minute or 2 rest, he said, I'm here for you. But he went out, and you could see when he started running and cutting, it wasn't going to happen. So, hopefully it's not too serious. He's gotten significantly better the last few days, and hopefully he'll continue to improve. Thank you, guys.